with another live stream. Please share, subscribe, hit that like button, and let's get with another video here. Now, America's doom feared it. Now, Allah, God, has come to whom praise are due forever for offering us to sit us in heaven at once. Our submission to Him entirely. You see, we fear this doom of America that is now cutting her into pieces. We see the prophecy teach us that her doom will come in one day. Death, mourning came in one day. One day means 1 year. Even after that, she should be burned with fire. We see divine prophecy is that America would suffer isolation from the nations of the earth. We see the revelation of John of the Bible prophecy of America's doom. We see America spoken of under the savage names we see. A beast and dragon who oppose the messenger of God and all those who seek to follow him. The beast we see and the dragon are the name used to represent America because of their nature and their characteristics of these people. Evil and haters of his black one slaves. The beast or dragon trails the woman seeking to destroy the messenger and his followers, the new convert. So the messenger of Allah is referred to as the woman with a newborn baby, with a victorious beast-like enemy trails her, the messenger of God, everywhere that he goes. Now, the newborn was to make his presence felt, to be amongst God's people in a time. See, the resurrection means that we as a mentally dead black people in America will rise from a mental death. So you got to realize who you are. Discover who God is. And name the beast that the devil is. Because the beast does this today to prevent the messenger and his followers from making progress and making friends with his own black people and their brothers, brown, red, and yellow, who will help the messengers today to convert and unite his black people. Not only the United States of America, but the whole world of the black nation. To unite and fly out of our enemies who seeks to destroy and kill you and me. Night and day does not just mean leaving America, but it means also to leave the ideologically and all that America represents. And the nation we see, Europe and Asia, stood far away off for fear of her burning the USA, for fear of a divine pledge. To you, my black people, the end is now. Who said that you was going any place? Heaven and hell are both a condition of life. They're not places that will make hell for you. And God And the person of masterful homage, to whom praise or due forever makes heaven for you and me. America has it, her own doom. See, this ultimate aim of this war should be known to everyone, especially the righteous. We are classified the righteous as being the people who belong to the right God. See, the God of righteousness, truth, freedom, justice, and equality for the nation of righteousness. Today, the so-called Negro must be resurrected and made to know and understand the fate of anyone who will follow or be deceived by the arch deceivers. We see the strongest and most powerful weapons the arch deceiver has at their disposal is to deceive the world of righteousness, the nation of Islam. They do not stop at the common ignorant Muslim, but also reach also for the scholars and scientists of Islam, who should be aware of their trickery and their deceits. We are in a world that is passing out a resistance. And she is putting up a fight war to destroy the nation of righteousness. Be aware to try to oppose the success of Allah, God's truth. Only has it. Their doom and falsehood and its teachers. The world of evil makes its first attack on the world of righteousness, thereby clearly showing herself as being the enemy of righteousness. When she thinks that she had built up a strong enough force to attack the righteous, she does so, which I have said before, hasted her own doom. See, falsehood cannot be victorious over the truth, and the days of truth. The resurrection is a day of truth. We see this resurrection is a day of truth as a trumpet over falsehood. The arch deceiver forced war against himself. See, the ultimate aim is to do as the people always have done. Try to destroy the preachers of truth and those who believe in following. This was the aim of Cain when he slayed his brother Abel, and the aim of the dragon when he sought to destroy the woman, the messengers, as it is written in Revelation chapter 12, verse 4. Now this messenger of God was to make his presence known, and that was the woman with the newborn baby. And ever since the devil been here on this planet, you see there been one war rather than another. You see, I'm saying you cannot live with them in peace. See, peace was never in their nature. So we see when it comes to lost found members of that nation, should be taught to know the ultimate aim of this world. See, God has visited them and has prepared a teacher in myself to teach them, thereby making it easy for them to understand and recognize this world and its secret ultimate aim. It is even given in the Bible in Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. There it speaks to the members belonging to the righteous nation and shows that through deceits, Satan causes them to become as himself against the truth, peace, justice, safety, and security, one who would join if he only was not deceived it. Under deceits, we see the weak-minded who have no understanding or knowledge, or the arch deceivers. The devil, Satan, are made prey in the hands of the arch deceivers. This will bring about war as a showdown between the God of righteousness and the God of unrighteousness, the devil. It already had begun. God must fulfill his promise to show as himself as God over all the powers of the heavens and earth. and man on earth. As it is written, we see Thessalonians chapter 2:9. He comes at this working of Satan. Satan had been given the power of knowledge and authority to deceive as many as he could before the appearance of God, or the universal manifestation of the presence of God. He was given this power in the beginning, according to chapter 2 and chapter 7 of the Holy Quran, and according to the Bible in Genesis 1:26, Revelation 6:4 and 8, Revelations 12:3 and 4. See, we have known all our life that the devil was a great deceiver, an enemy of God, and that he wished to be the victorious with his knowledge of superior art and deceiving the people of God. He desired to cast them down, disgrace them, and make them accept his deceits before the very face of God and the general resurrection of the dead. The so-called American Negro, as I have repeatedly taught in my article, sermon, and lecture to my people, are spiritually dead. They have been touched and paralyzed to death by the arch deceivers through his missionary teachings, his literature, his personal conversation, and by accepting his advice. God has given to me a very strong and inviolable truth that will defend, protect, and prevent you from falling victim to the arch deceiver. Weed these and treasure them. They are your life. Ignore them. It is your death. We must not forget how we are warned by prophecy for 100 years and for 1,000 years that an end has come to this world. See, no time passed with God. See, for 1,000 years is merry like a day, and a day is like 1,000 years. We are coming to that mark. We are coming through 100 years of great famine, 1,000 years. And it's going to get worse by the minute and by the hour. Now, the rulers of this world must be removed. And we see the crown must be taken off and placed upon another head. And they will rule in justice and righteousness. And the people of this world are now become so wicked and so fearful of the consequences of their own rule until the almost thoughtless vision is gone. The fearfulness has taken hold of the people. See, the hearts of the people all beginning to weaken and to fail because of what is going on and what they see is coming. It's like you can feel it, like everybody can sense it. What they see and what is going on. You see, America and her people have lived so rich and so joyfully. And their wickedness we see murder, robbery, and hatred of one another. Until it had hardened their hearts so much that they are made to think that they can make friends and live on with those upon whom they had no mercy. See, they crushed all the weak nations of the earth with their powers and brought them into the clutches of slavery. See, they forced other nations to bow. See, they pushed the borders around the earth as the kings did in their day and time. But in those days, the king boasted. Let's think over it. We see England had made that same boast. See, England used to boast that the sun did not set on an empire. See, take a look at England today. There is no British empire for the sun or moon to set on. This morning, you see May 30, 1972, the radio news announcer says that they found mines in the Chicago River. This makes it altogether more frightening. If mine should blow a ship up in the city limits, it would be dangerous to the life of the people. And just think over this. The Chicago River runs through the downtown sections of Chicago, Illinois. No one wants to frighten the people more, but the frightening the people sometimes does good. See, the great days, terrible days. People are just being shot down on the streets, right in their homes, or while walking the streets. They are blown down as though their life are nothing. The great days we see, the terrible days. American people have been here, according to history, since a few years after Columbus, the explorers. See, she had conquered the Red Indians, the original owners of the lands, whom she found here and took it for a home for herself and kind. She had continued conquering until her conquering powers had gone around the earth, affecting every civilized nation's submission to her will. She's successful in forcing other people to bow to her will, whether they like it or not. Now it is the hands of God, which is after America, to force her into submission, the hand from which we have no defense, as it is written and prophesied it in the Bible under the name of Babylon. Jeremiah 51:25. Behold, come against you, O destroying mountains, said the Lord, which destroy all the earth, will stretch out my hands upon you and roll you down from the rocks and will make you a burnt mountain. Jeremiah 51:53. Though Babylon should be mounted up to heaven, and though she shall fortify the heights of her strength, yet from me shall spoils come into her, said the Lord. We see America is under destruction, similar to that of ancient Babylon. See, the Bible, we see Jeremiah and Isaiah, and Revelation John prophesied it concerning her future. See, Babylon they're mentioned is the future Babylon, and not Babylon of the past. We see white America have enslaved all of the so-called Negro, and their evil mistreatment of them is similar to ancient Babylon enslavement and mistreatment of the Jews, according to the scripture. Took the hands of God to bring the kings of Babylon and his people into submission to the power of God. He brought the surrounding kings and their power against ancient Babylon and the prime, the heights of her glory, the handwriting on the walls, the casting of Daniel and his followers into the furious furnace, making drunk the people of God with their strong wines, and then mocking them. So has America done to the so-called Negro. America makes him drunk with wine, whiskey, and beer, and then laugh at him. She put him into the furious furnace, burned him at the stake, while sitting around with her families, drinking intoxicant drinks, and laughing at the burning flesh of God's people. There is no justice whatsoever, as the revelation gives it. You see, she had made all the world drink of the wine of her fornication. But the end is coming to such evil doing. Amen. You see, America had lived in peace, we see, so far as forging war is concerned. She had destroyed other people and their towns and cities. She had leveled them to the ground. She still prepared to do the same with her great stockpiles. She says she has enough bombs, destructive weapons, to destroy all human beings on the face of the earth 3 times. Still has some left. Of this, she boasts. But Allah God has said to me that He will destroy America and will bring her to her knees in humiliation. Psalms chapter 2, verse 4, He will sit in the heaven He shall laugh. He will have them in humiliation. See, the destruction sent to ancient Babylon and recorded in the Bible is the answer to most of what he has said to me will come upon the now rich America. Rain, hail, snow, earthquakes, fire. These weapons all belong to God. America, how do you fight an army like this? The aforementioned weapons of Allah God cannot be ignored. The whole year had been a year, thou far, of Allah God, pledging America, day and night, with storms we see, rain, flood, killing, and destroying properties. And now, the coming winter, hail had been falling. We see in some places the size of golf balls, baseballs, and footballs. So the rain continued to fall in places. And a dreadful snow blizzard is now in the working. A cold wind is blowing in the north and coming against America. As it is written, we see, and prophesied, we see. Job 38:22 and 23. Have you entered into the treasures of the snow? Or have you seen the treasures of the hell, which I have reserved it against this time of trouble, against this day of battle and war? See, earthquakes are now again to be recognized touching America lightly, but nevertheless, they are here with all of her wealth and preaching of Christianity. She has not been a good Christian herself. As Jeremiah says, arise, get you up into this wealthy nation that dwelt without care, said the Lord, which has neither gates nor bars, which dwell alone. This corresponds to America. She lives situated between the two greatest bodies of the water of the earth. We see the Atlantic and the Pacific. She is very careless. She rejoices in her evil and filth, as though she is self-protected from the divine hands of God. See Jeremiah 50:31 prophesied it. Behold, I'm against you. Most proud, said the Lord God of hosts, for your days is come, the time that I visit you. See, Allah God is visiting America with great destruction, which he has to pour upon the wicked America. After the mistreatment of the so-called Negro for 400 years, desire now to deceive them, to cause them to suffer with her, to share in her doom. See Jeremiah 50:6. My people have been lost sheep. See, the shepherd has caused them to go astray. So the white and black preachers of Christianity had turned them away on a mountain. They had gone from a mountain to hill. They had forgotten their resting place, the native people and countries. Jeremiah 50:7. All that found them have devoured them. And their adversary says, we fear not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the inhabitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Since the white man had made the so-called Negro as wicked a person as himself, now these are the words that he speaks. They are just as evil as we. Therefore, Allah God is against them too. The so-called nigger repeat the same and says the white man is no worse than the so-called Negro. So the white man have opened all of his doors of avenue of temptation to lure the Negro in for total destruction. Again, we have a warning. Lead a people with whom God is angry, as the people of ancient Babylon was warned to do. Jeremiah 51:45. My people go out of the midst of her, and deliver every man his soul from the furious anger of the Lord. We see all of the pledges, destruction, and judgment which Allah God used to destroy the wicked and disobedient from the time of Adam until this day will be brought upon America. Then she will be burned with fire. This is the time of trouble that shall bring America into insanity. The dreadful times of America is coming. See, America, we see especially North America, have entered into a time that was which was prophesied by Moses and a prophet between him and Jesus. We see in the 24th chapter of Matthew, there is a present time, a prophecy made by Jesus of the present time of America without mentioning her name. He refers to the country as a world because this part of the earth is referred to in many places by the prophet and by Jesus himself as a wilderness. The name America is not yet 500 years old, so the prophet refers to it as a wilderness and a prophecy. It is terrific. I use the word terrible because it is not anything that can be described and something out or something that is moving slowly, nor something that can be recognized so easily for the common people. It is clear to all who can see that America has reached the stage about which she has always have been warned. She always have wanted to keep it a secret because of her so-called Negro slave. She never desired for the slave to know too much of what was in store for her because of enslaving and mistreating her slaves. She had reared them for the past 400 years, and she knows them, and she knows how they think and how they react to her teachings. And she knows the fear of her, and she knows the slave, but the slave do not know America, their slave master. See, the dreadful and awful days doom is now in the doors we see, in the windows of America. And of the church, we see the religion of America. See, as long as Christianity works, America thought she was safe because it is one of the most deceiving and upright, misleading religions of the world. Allah God taught me that if carefully examined, everything in the religion of this Christianity is designed to make slaves out of black people. If Christianity was a red rag and wrung out, see, every drop will write slavery for the black man. See, the world knows this now, but the spiritually blind, deaf, dumb American so-called Negro, to whom I'm calling and appealing to reason, I'm calling them to reason with me on the truth and their own starvation that is now truth of self and kind, but enemy of self. There will not be an end to the carcasses between black and white in America and throughout the world until wrong, evil, murdering, deceiving, and robbing the poor black man of the earth is destroyed, and righteousness and justice are practiced. This is the day of God Almighty to set up justice and equality throughout the earth. He's to free the black man, the American so-called Negro, from his deceitful, evil, and murderous enemies. America wished to oppose Allah God and his work of bringing justice and freedom to our one slave. But this is just what Allah God wants. He wants America to attack him to get the fight started and to bring his judgment against her with the fullness of his strength and powers. America is bringing about political gloom. Here, the politicians are unable to carve out a future for America. So the plan of deceiving the so-called politicians to work against their own freedom, justice, and equality, starvation, that Allah God has brought to them, is making the so-called Negro in high office become the enemy of his own people, freedom, justice, and equality. Such office are held out as a bribe to get black politicians to work against the spread of the truth for their starvation. They are happy, and a boss knows that they are, to have a place near him in such office, just for the purpose of trying to oppose Allah God and his messengers and freeing this poor black man who is in the mud. This is causing the political confusion, complete destruction of a house divided against itself. I'm asking in the name of Allah that the American governments agree on the separation of our one slave and their masters. Of course, Allah God is significant. We want a home on this earth we can call home. We do not want to be slaves anymore to white people. See, we do not want to be free Uncle Toms for white people. We don't want to be sissy pies and bootlickers to white people. We want to do something for self and go for self. However, America with her blind, deaf, dumb politician and class of the so-called nigger will bring a swift destruction upon their heads, along with their doom that is enviable against the enemy. It is not 20 years in the future, nor 15. Let no one deceive you. It is here at our door now. The dreadful pledges and confusion of America are beginning to boil. Just look at that Yellowstone. Look at the super volcanoes. Look at these earthquakes. Look at the flood. Look at the fire. Look at the hailstones. Look at the twisters. And look at the tsunamis. The few making it boil, my brothers and sisters, will not freeze until it boils down to the last dregs. See, the present promise of a better future that America is making to the so-called Negro will prove to be false. And all of her false promises to the American so-called Negro will be short lives by both, because the time of her doom has approached it. America will have to do a marvelous thing of justice, a square deal to turn it back. A fastening show, a tempting a Negro to filth and evil will not work today. It takes justice to work to postpone the dreadful days of America. See, America lost a war. Friendship is beating her doom. I'm afraid for you that you receive what the people before you did receive. Allah God is very angry with America and the trigonology that she used on the dead to keep them dead. You are very disappointed to Allah God and to the original black man who knows himself. A very few, of course. The false show of a glorious future that the wicked is putting on is at hand. We must remember Daniel's prophecy that the end of the war, desolation, are determined. But before this happened, Allah God will bless the people with a good time, as He did the people of the past who wronged themselves and who did not pay attention to the prophet warning amongst them. Allah God destroyed them. They thought that they were fooling Allah God, but Allah God surprised them. He made the people rejoice for a short time, with a show of great prosperity, and at the height of their great prosperity, suddenly He destroys them. This is the merciful law that God has put in nature. See, Allah God let a dying person rally before the end. See, America is going to do the same. See, America will rally and people will think that she is going to have a great future. And an end will come in that kind of time. American end will not come while she is going around with her head hanging down, with her heart itching and failing, because of the things are coming on her nation. No, she will be made to enjoy good times. See, the stock markets are going up and lots of shares being sold. Does make any man think that everything's all right? But this is only the delude before the storm. And the Bible warns America of what happens before her. Ancient Babylon enjoy a full ruling position at her time. But King Darius came against her at the time of her full enjoyment of wealth, drunkenness, and her laughing at the slaves that she had made of Israel. King Darius came with his armies and overcame the sleeping guards who were sleeping on the security of their lives. The Bible prophesies that the enemy would say, "Come, let us go up and destroy her whose cities is not fenced in." And they will come from afar. They may come at noonday, or they may come after rising in the morning or in the afternoon. But nevertheless, they'll come at a time that you thought not, and after the war, and to the end of the war, desolation are determined. But that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. See the Bible, Daniel 9:26 and 27. I want you to know that which will be poured means it is the revivation of your America. If you ever getting back into power again to attack the nations of the earth. See, Europe will become one of the worst war areas of all the world, more dreadful than Vietnam and other places that you are planning on going into. Asia will look like child's play compared to what is going to happen in Europe. The prophet says, "Whom to the land that shallow it rings." This means America, whose skies is filled with plains. Isaiah 18 verse 1. See, most of all of this judgment and trouble which are pointed at in the Bible are pointed at America. See, study them for yourself. America right up to today, with all of her battles with her outside enemy, never loses sight of the inside of her poor old black slaves. She does not want him to do anything. She wants him to be deceived. She does not want him to accept his starvation that Allah God is offering the black one slave here in America. Allah God is offering the black one slave heaven at once. This he has proven to everyone that believe in Allah God and follow me. I am the door. By no means can you get by except you come by me. Your prayers will not be heard unless my name is mentioned in them. I'm saying that you cannot get a prayer through to Allah God unless you mention me in your prayers. Try it and see it. I'm satisfied that those who know this will bear witness. I have the keys to your starvation. I have the keys to your hell. I can, if you will let me pull you out of hell and set you into heaven. Then I can keep you in heaven. Or I can keep pushing and push you into the punishment of hell until you acknowledge that there is no God but Allah, to whom praise are due forever, and that Elijah Muhammad is his servant. There is no escape for you today. Only way is through me, is through Allah God. Me first, for you cannot get to Allah God without getting to me first. The deluge before the storm. America is trying with all of her might to hinder you from getting into heaven. America makes promises to you, and she makes promises to me, but she does not intend to fulfill them. Some of America's financial people promise to loan us millions of dollars, but when it comes time to do so, they vanish. The day will come when we will be able to do the same things to them. It is entirely up to them to make good this day for themselves and their people by submitting to the truth themselves, as the Bible says. The Gentiles shall come to the light of your rising. See, America wants to destroy God and me, and she wants to destroy you by deceiving you against following me. America lift up all of my hypocrites and advise you to follow them, while she knows that you will be the losers. Look what she has done for Malcolm. America named universities after him in order for you to follow Malcolm. Malcolm turned from Allah God and me and started to follow them. America will lift up any one of you that will disobey Allah God and myself and come to them. You see how they are doing. Everyone that is a hypocrite to Allah God and me, America raise him up for you to follow. America will glorify his name. See, Malcolm was no lover of white people when he lied to them in order to get a chance to fight me. But he was not a lover of them. See, Malcolm was a double crosser. He tried to get to me with the help, as it is written, and prophesied it that he would do. His name is not written there in the name of Malcolm. In the history, another name is used, but his work is there in the history of the hypocrites, the life of Muhammad. He tried to take advantage while Muhammad was sick. You find this in the writing of Washington Irving and even some scientist writers of Islam. They can tell you Malcolm history, but the enemy fools you. He did not like Malcolm. But with Malcolm working against me, he used Malcolm. They knew that Malcolm had learned the history of me, and he was not able to change it. And even if the enemy will glorify them, they'll come to a nothing. For the time as ruling power over black people is up. They knew that better than Malcolm did. They set up for worship all hypocrites against me. Suppose we will worship China and Russia against them, but we do not worship them. For Allah God is most significant, more significant than all the nations. Allah God does not see them as a power and force against him. They are so little and weak in their powers. They cannot fight against Allah God and win. See, the more you fight against Allah God, the more you will lose yourself. From the Bible and from this chapter and from now on, if you do not know that he is tricking you, making you to follow hypocrites. It is your doom. Just watch it. He trails me. He goes down to the Bahamas and everywhere that he thinks that I'm going or where I have been. This is written. I do not fault him for doing what is written of him. I try to do that which is written of me. I do not fault him for what he is made by nature to do, nor should he fault me, what by nature I am. But I fault you if you let this little transgression of this life and our enemy deprive you of a great future for yourself. We can buy hospitals and places to educate and train our people into the supreme education of the nation of the earth. But you'd rather give your money over to white Americans and let them spend it on what they want to, and they pay you a little interest. We offer interest too, the highest of interest, but you do not trust us, so we will build right along without your help. We are going to be the winners. It's prophesied that we who believe will be the winners. And my work that was prophesied of me before I was born, you see it today. Now try and find a successful one who is working opposition to me. See, none of you who are trying to aid the devil against me will be successful in doing so. And the devil knows that. He's not trying to do these things himself, only with you. He knows that he will not be successful in stopping my progress. Not him, nor several times his number. As long as I'm with Allah God, He is with me, and that will be all the days of my life. Fire fed with fuel. The subject of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, we see. Surah 85, verse 5. We do not hope for peace as long as we add to the war that would serve as a fuel to a fire. Fire cannot go out as long as we keep it burning by adding more fuel. A dying burn fire is increased when more fuel is thrown into it. There are lots of people who are so anxious for peace so that they can return to committing that which they lack in love, idling, sport, and play. The world that we live in desire, first of all, to hide the truth, to keep this black man who's made blind, deaf, and dumb by scientific trigonometry of the right race, so that the right race can continue to carry on the same deceiving and wickedness that they have been practicing. How can we expect peace where the method used to bring about peace is the same method that started the war? Instead of finding the right solution and then practicing the right solution. I said these things for the sake of my own black people, for they are so ignorant to the knowledge of the truth of the time in which we are living. What they would like to do cannot be done. For the time to even continue to do what you are doing today is up. We must remember, again, the prediction of the Bible. If it had foretold these times, if we understand the Bible, it must certainly teaches us that there is no peace for the wicked. There is no people who preach such a thing as peace, as being true followers of the prophet Jesus, as much as the right Christian do. Day and night, their airways are full of their preachings. To hear them, you would think that they are the prophet Moses and Aaron, as the words Jesus put it. They sat in Moses' seat. See, the white Christians are great deceivers. The Pope of Rome cannot bring peace to the Christian church, for he is not enjoying peace himself. So who is that people then that the Bible prophesies of in the book of Isaiah, that he would send peace to them like rivers? Surely cannot be the present Christian right race, for they are the ones who are breaking the peace. See, fire fed with field. See, leaving your own homes and country, go to another man's home and country to make trouble for that people, and then accuse that people of being the troublemakers. It is the attacker who is guilty of that which follows the attack. I said to you, black people, you can get away from that old misunderstanding of the time. You're not living in a time in which you may be expecting a settlement of the war that will give you what you have always been used to: sport, play, and foolishness. Actually, now is a time that you and I should be wise enough to understand that we should think for self and do for self. If you do not know how to do for self, you should follow the man to whom Allah God has given that knowledge to teach you how to do for self. With the ocean filled with the fleets of the right Christians, and the sky crowded with their death dealing planes over other people's territories, could you tell them that they should submit to you for peace? If you are able to force them to their knees or to destroy them, then I say yes. If that was the situation, then I would say that they should submit and let you trumpet. But you cannot force them to their knees. They have been preparing for a war like this for nearly a century. Or rather, I should say, they have been preparing and working faithfully today for half a century to entertain the attacker with the same type of weapons and better weapons than the weapons you are attacking them with. If you resort to worse weapons, they have worse weapons also. So we are in a time when argument to the contrary of peace is like heaping fuel on a fire. It keeps it burning. We are living in an evil time. I believe, and maybe many hundreds of thousands believe as I do, that the President of the United States of America have good intentions towards citizens of America when he took over the presidency. The time is against him for the past 4,000 years and more. Allah, God has always given the prophecy through the mouth of his prophets of the doom of the wicked. Now is the time, and we cannot do anything but take it. It is dangerous to add fuel to unwanted fire. The fire is the war. Man heart filling and fear. Now how true the prophecy of Jesus, Luke 21:25 and 26, concern the present time. Bear witness that the seas and waves are warring, and that fear is now covering the nation, as shown by the unusual heart failures that is now occurring amongst men. These are the signs of the end of the present world. The seas and oceans are heaving up tidal waves to a magical height that man has never witnessed before on earth. It's another pledge that's upon the wicked, since the Holy Quran teaches that the judgment will be such that the earth itself will act as though a revelation had been revealed to it because of its perfect obedience to the laws of Allah on that day. Allah will use the power that is in the earth and the sea against the world of evil. The white race thinks that they have control of the power of the earth, sea, and land. They still think that they have this power while you looking up the sky while they control the lands on our feet. See, now it was prophesied that for a time they will subdue and have the use of the power of the sea and ocean until he comes who right it is to rule. To the heaven and earth belongs to Allah, God. Now it is his time to rule. There is much prophecy concerning the terribleness of the judgment of the wicked. See, the power that is in the water is in the hands of Allah God to use it against whom he pleases. The earth, wind, rain, snow, ice, earthquakes, fire are controlled by Allah God. It is a fearful sight to see the displays of his powers with the force of nature, bowing and submitting to his will. I should warn you that this is now coming into action against the Western world. It will be the destruction of whole fleets at seas, those which are capable of lying on the ocean and sea bottom will be destroyed. To dissect with a foolish people who, like in the time of Noah, could not see the sign of the rain, bringing on the flood, even after the cloud began to darken the sky. See, they did not see the oncoming rain until it actually started to rain. So it is with America. See, they pay no attention to the sign of the judgment that is now taking place. As the Bible prophesies, Revelation 16:9, they blaspheme the name of God, which has power over these pledges. How many in America, in the city of Chicago, disbelieve, even mock and swear at the name of Allah, who has power over the force of nature, land, sea, and air? Allah God is now doing as it is prophesied. Holy Quran, Surah 13:41, visiting a land, curtain it of its size. The foolish still are foolish until he is cast to that narrow place, cannot turn to the right or left, as it was with the donkey that Balaam was right. See, he came to a narrow place between the two walls. He could not turn around. He had to stop face to face with the angels or be destroyed. The Bible, Numbers 22, 23, and 26. Let it be remembered that Allah God came forth for redemption to deliver the American black people from their tormentors. See, whether we like it or not, he would do this. See, this is the work of Allah God, which is in effect. Let America use the history of the fall and destruction of ancient Egypt and her pharaoh. Let the history serve as a warning. They were brought to nothing for the evil done to a people whom Allah God has chosen. For example, of these last days, the lost found black slave and their slave master. The Holy Quran, Surah 30:41, is perfectly true in its prediction of a present day nation, sea, and land power. See, corruption has appeared in the land and the sea on account of that which man's hands has made. The most great mistake the black man is making today is just trying to hold on to the brief and the return of Jesus, or that he lived and preached the saving of this white man's world. This is false. Jesus did not preach this. Jesus had a few disciples. Jesus also cursed the Jews, not to mention that he was trying to save them, or the Caucasian people. They are teaching a trichology that the white man used to deceive the black man. They do this so that our people will not understand that Jesus declared himself against the world of the Caucasian race, the Bible. He also declared that the words of truth had no place in this right race of people. They have proved this to be the truth by their mistreatment of you and me. So the white race have never worshipped any prophets before or after Jesus as the divine man of Allah God. It's against their very nature to do this. That is why they kill all the prophets that they are able to kill. They deceive the people against believing in the prophets of Allah God, for they was made in their nature to be the enemies of God and his representatives. Before the time is out, they will be forced into submission to the will of Allah God. This will not be done for the purpose of converting the right race. Allah God will force them into submission, prove that he is able to make everything bow to him into submission. This is a fulfillment to the prophecy, Bible, Isaiah 45:23. And to me, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall swear. The Bible says, Matthew 25:32, before him shall we gather all nations. The Holy Quran has a similar prophecy that you shall see all nations kneeling before him. This includes everybody, regardless to their color. Everything in the universe obeyed the natural laws in which it was made subject to by Allah God. On the coming of Allah God, who now makes everything bow to him, whether you believe or disbelieve. Holy Quran Surah chapter 382. It does not make a difference to him whether you are the devil or the righteous. All must bow in submission to the will of Allah God on the judgment day. We are now living in a day of judgment. See, black preachers, you erase your time and leading yourself and those who follow you to hell by holding on to America Christianity. See, Revelation 19:20. See, you cannot keep them in Christianity. See, Christianity was not the religion of Jesus, Moses, or any other prophet who came before them. It would have been a fierce on the parts of Allah God to have read it until just 2,000 years ago to give the right religion to the world of man. Allah God gave the right religion, Islam, in the beginning of his creation of the heavens and earth. Allah God have not changed. His religion is Islam, entire submission to his will. Hell erupts. Now, why are the nation angry today? Who are the nation that are angry at this resurrection of the dead? See, the 18th verse of the 11th chapter of the Revelation in the Bible plainly teach us that these nations are angry mad because of the rise of the dead. God himself was the source of the power behind the resurrection of a rise of a mentally dead people, the black man. See, the nations is mad. These people are mad because God has come to deliver us. And the resurrection only teaches us that we were rise from a mental death. See, understanding who we are, understand who God is, and name the beasts that the devil was. So we see it is these slave holders who have been the real cause of the mental death of the people. See, the revelation relates to as being deprived of justice. See, God comes to give them justice and to justify them as being equal to their slave masters as human beings. As you know, from the 400 years of legal slavery and free slavery of the American so-called Negro, they have never been recognized even as a human being. As one devil says, they are only 3/5 of a human being. It is true that the history of our treatment by the devil's slave master practically made our parents and ourselves less than human beings. That's why I teach that the main right we should seek first are human rights. To the American so-called Negro flew in love with his slave master children, because the unlight attracted them and their brothers in Africa. Therefore, the manifestation of the enemy, the devil, and the resurrection makes the dead to see it, that which caused them to be mentally dead. In the parable of the donkey who plowed out meeting with this angel, he saw that the burden he had been carrying on his back was false. Balaam, soul, and the resurrection of the mentally dead so-called Negro. They are rising to a knowledge of self. This knowledge make them refuse to continue to carry the slave master as something to worship. This have angered the slave master, as the donkey refused to anger Balaam. See, Balaam set about whooping and beating a donkey to force him as unusual, to care and respect him as his master. This use of force to compel the one slave, the black Americans, to remain with them, even now in order to make them members of society, the only false recognition of the black American. See, this lost and found people of the black nation of Asia and Africa. This continuous cruelty by the white slave master inflicted upon the American so-called Negro have angered God as the cruelty the Egyptian inflicted upon the Israelites during the time of Pharaoh angered Jehovah. This is a repetition of Israel history and the Pharaoh evil in these modern times. The appearance of Jehovah and of Moses, the servants of Jehovah, to announce to the Pharaoh the end of Israel's slavery. Pharaoh became angry and went to work and tried to strike and bring to nothing Jehovah's delivery of Israel through his servant Moses. This brought Pharaoh to his end, and he and his army was cast into the Red Sea because they tried to prevent the freeing of Israel by the God Jehovah. The angry nation refers to white America and Europeans who are also enslavers of the black man. Take, for instance, we see the parts that England, Germany, France, and Italy had all played in enslavement of black Africans and black people throughout Africa, in Asia, here in America, North and South America. There is no such thing in the nature of white people as justice and freedom for black people, especially not for blacks in the Western hemisphere. Now their anger is running them mad, and they are attacking and killing each other. There is no such thing as peace amongst them, nor can they produce peace for others. The Holy Quran refers to this condition as the kind up of hell. Surah 81, verse 12. Never before have you witnessed the evil that is spreading far and wide. We see it every hour of the day. We see it in America, in Europe, England, and America being not the first, but the chief slave makers of black people. They dislike the idea of having Allah dispose of their powers over the Negro, though they knew this was coming, the loss of their slaves. This is the time of increase of knowledge. God has given the black man of America more light and to this increase of divine knowledge than any black elsewhere, because he chose to make for himself a great nation out of the former slaves of America. See why America is angry at God for resurrecting the black slave into the knowledge of self and the slave master. This means that they are entering into a war with Almighty God, Allah, to try to oppose the truth of God preached by the messengers of God. Read the second Psalms. The great commotion of this government and people of America, the civil unrest, insurrection, mental excitement, and noisy confusion. There is no action that's being taken, nor can there be any action taken that will bring the people into a better condition of civil actions. So the white American people have practiced evil and injustice to the man in the mud, the black slave, for so long that they think that there will never be any divine action taken against them for such evil and injustice. But this is what is now affected. It is the action of divine justice for the poor man, black slave. Allah God, the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, has the power, and he's using his power on the wicked to bring them to their knees. Allah God is the greatest, and there is no equal to him. Allah God can take us by our own way of thinking and spin us as though we are a play toy. We cannot fight a successful fight against him. It's too powerful. He listens in on our thinking. It's capable of making us to think and to do that which he desired to be done. To the great commotion today is witnessed it. by the nation of the earth. For it is America whom Allah God is after for mistreatment of the so-called lost found, which no black members of their nation. America mistreat and kill her black one slave for sport. But America days is drawing to a close, and she will not have the freedom to mistreat the black one slave much longer. As the mistreatment of Egyptian practice against Israel came to an end, so will the mistreatment of the black slave by white America comes to an end. America has so blind and made deaf dumb the black man of America, her black slaves, that she will make empty promises to the black slave. And he will accept her false promises, forsake the true promises of Allah God and the person Master Fala Muhammad, to whom praise are due forever, who is here offering us heaven at once. This great commotion will continue in America until this commotion has destroyed the power of oppositions. The title of this chapter is taken from the Holy Quran, Surah 101, 1 through 4. The disaster. What is the disaster? And will make you know how terrible is this disaster. In the English language, according to the Western Dictionary, the word disaster means a state of deep distress, misery caused by major misfortune, or loss, or a great event marked by a great loss, and lasting distress and affliction. Such disasters now prevail in America. It's getting worse daily. The third verse of this chapter of the Holy Quran, Surah 101, verse 3, asks a question. It will make you know how terrible is the disaster. The answer is given in the fourth verse. Day wherein men will be as scattered as moths. We do not have to ask anyone whether or not this warning of the Holy Quran is now being fulfilled. We see the fulfillment of this prophecy with our eyes and hear with our ears these great disasters that are now striking America. We see the great division, the great disagreement, disunity, and murder man's. We see the great amount of raping and murder girls and women. There's a great robbery and thieves going on every hour of the day and night. There are great storms and adverse weather conditions. There are minor earth tremors and hailstorms. There are signs and wonders of signs being displayed in the heavens and earth, on sea and land. There's unusual behaviors of children. There's unusual love or dislike of children by mothers and fathers, and destruction of the process of childbirth. There is the great disaster of starvation and destruction of health and of life by the use and administering of poison drugs, which is practiced upon those who are free and those who are bound. What has been known as America is threatened today with total destruction. America is destroying herself in an effort to destroy her black slaves. The water and air of America are being polluted by chemical use. American scientists of war conducts dreadful experiments how best to kill human beings by the millions and wipe out the life of whole continents. These are the days of fulfillment of prophecy of not one, but in many disasters. But in all of these preparations of destruction of human lives by the devil, see, God too has planned to save his people. See, Allah God has claimed over this black slave as being his people. The white slaveholders is angry because of the loss of the black slave by the virtue of this claim. Allah God comes to take this black slave away from enemy white slaveholders and join the black slave to his own kind again. Enemy white slaveholders hate this, but Allah God has the power to force this enemy white slaveholders to submit to his will. It is the will of Allah God that the enemy white slaveholders let the black slave go free. Allah God promised concerning this white slaveholders and the black slave. The Bible, Isaiah 43, verse 6. I will say to the north, give up. to the south. Keep not back. Bring my son from afar, my daughter from the ends of the earth. America, since the law of God has now claimed the black slave, giving them the truth. The law of God has called the black slave who accepted the truth by his name. The black slave who accepted the truth of his greatness and being one of the righteous nations of his kind belong to Allah God. See, the books must be fulfilled wherein it prophesies that he would claim them to be his own elect in such time as the destruction of America. But Allah God has not chosen some of the people of America, the black slave, to be his people. There would not have been any flesh saved from America. The Bible we see, Mark 13:20 teach us, and except that the Lord has shortened those days, no flesh will be saved. But for the elect's sake, whom he has chosen, he has shortened the days. The black slave must know that this is the time of the judgment of both the white slaveholders and the black slave. The black slave must learn to know his place in the judgment. The place of the black slave is with Allah, God, and his own black people. The black slave have been deprived of knowledge of his God and his own black people. See, Allah, God, has come and brought this black slave the truth. If the black slave refused to accept the truth, he will be destroyed for willingly and knowingly rejecting the truth when the truth had come in his midst. Disaster, disaster, in the country of America. No secret can be hidden. For the chastisement of Allah God will not let you hide it. As one writer prophesies in the Bible, we see Isaiah 18, verse 1, whom to the land shallow it rings. This prophecy refers to America, which have a cloud of planes showering the skies over America almost daily. Can America exist? To the coming of this white man to the western hemisphere was for the purpose of expansion away from his brethren in Europe. See, Europe was divine given to the white race as a home when it was driven out of Arabia 6,000 years ago to abide there on that continent until the days of reckoning comes to them. These are the days of reckoning for the right race, as the religious scholars and scientists agree. But because of their nature, evil, they cannot help doing evil things against the righteous. They make war against the righteous, the black man, to prevent him from accepting righteousness and doing the righteousness. Today, the black man in America is a prey into the strong, powerful hands of his enemy, the children of their slave masters. For 400 years, slave master have mistreated the slave, and now in the days of their redemption, they are doing everything possible to save them from accepting their starvation. That Allah now offers to this black man of America. So strong is Allah's love for us that he now desires nothing but a total destruction of America. They hate me with a bloody hatred, and they tried to kill me for teaching the truth to my people. They do not want this black man of America to enjoy freedom, justice, and equality. Look what they did to Reverend Martin King, a man who was trying to be their brother. A man who probably thought that he did not want to draw this white man's blood. He said if there was any blood to be spilled, let it be the black man's blood. The words came true. Poor man. He was without the knowledge of self, his God, and religion, and so feared with fear of his 400-year-old enemy, that he could never get starvation from his people, from the enemy. America had been blessed ever since our fathers came across the Atlantic out of the confines of Europe until this day. Now for the evil done to a slave, God threatened her with total destruction. America and Germany are the most evil of the right race. These two governments have been blessed, but they have not shown any worthwhile respect to Allah for his blessing. Allah God calls people out of all nations of the earth to come to America. They came seeking in heaven and earth, but those who came was evil too, as Revelation language teaches us. Revelation 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon, America, the great, we see, is falling, is falling. It become the habitation of devils, and a whore every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird.